Well, greetings, Shell Point. We're coming to you today from the Island Commons, and right now we're at the entrance. There's a lot of whistles blowing because they're putting up hollow core planks. We have a lot to cover today. With me today, as usual, Chris Grulon, our Assistant Project Manager for the Island Commons, and John Southard, our Senior Project Manager. So we're going to cover the Island Commons today. We're going to take you through the first 2 floors, and a lot of the framing is up, so you can the rooms are a lot more defined. And then we have some closures coming up. So Julie Nipper will join us later and talk about that. So over the next few months, there'll be a lot of moving parts on the site with the roads, parking lots, and whatnot, especially out front at by the intersection there. And so we want to just kind of take you through that. We're just going to do what is happening in March. But first of all, today I just want to make an announcement. This is probably the most important thing, is that John Southard will be retiring. And his last day working for White's at Shell Point is on Friday. This Friday, what's the date? The 6th. That is the 6th. He jumps in and says,
I've got it
with a smile on his
calendar.
face. So I just want to express my thanks and how grateful I am to have worked with John, and that his participation and leadership and experience on this project has made a world of difference for us. He's just done a terrific job. I've tried many times to talk him into staying throughout the course of the project, but no, it's still not working. No. So maybe just me going on camera will help that out. But he's done an awesome job for us. I know he's certainly helped Chris and the other guys just with their project management, and the project's in good hands, but we're certainly going to miss John and his leadership. So thank you. Right. We appreciate it.
I've really enjoyed it, and I know most of you have already gone through this. All right.
Right.
But what it really is, it's a lifestyle change, and you got to think about it as your new bulletin board out there on the road.
Yep.
I'm going to retire, but not be retiring.
That's right.
So just another lifestyle change, and I'm sure I'll be back from time to time. Always want to see a project once it's really completed.
Yep.
So.
It will have him definitely back for the ribbon cutting and the opening of these buildings, but. It sounds to me like John wants to be a resident, so we'll get with our sales team and make that happen. So anyway, well, let's get started. So tell us about what's happening at the Island Commons right now.
Yeah, so it's a lot happening right now, exterior and interior. So just walk you through the exterior of the building and the structure. So right now, as Adam mentioned, we are setting hollow core plank. This is our last major activity for hollow core plank. So no more hollow core plank after this. So major milestone for us, yes, and the project, both on the Islands Commons and the guest house. So this will be the last one that we install. And on the exterior, we are installing trusses. We started that last week, and that's still ongoing. So now you kind of see the slope roof on the Islands Commons, which is good to see. Kind of gives it a little bit of character, not just a square box or a rectangular box. So you'll see that going up. And then now going into the interior, on the first floor, we have framed the ceilings, so that allows us to install the light fixtures, the housing, all the above ceiling mechanical and electrical plumbing that are you'll see from the ceiling standpoint. So that's what's happening on the first floor. On the second floor, we're still installing the MEP in the in wall, and we are starting to frame the ceilings. So we're starting a little bit of that work that is also taking place on the first floor with the electrical and mechanical and electrical plumbing in the ceiling. And then just one last thing on the exterior, we are doing underground utility work. Right. So that's going along Grandview Road and along the side of the building here for our permanent power. So a lot of work going on everywhere on the building, inside and outside. So yeah, a lot of activities.
What's the schedule for power in the buildings, Vista K and Island Commons?
We ourselves are ready here at March, during the month of March, to basically receive the power and to also start the air conditioning system, which is a major milestone on any project. We are awaiting confirmation from FP&L when they're going to come out here and energize so that we can energize the building.
Yeah.
So that's scheduled to occur here in March. On the Islands Common project, that's about 3 months behind of where we are now. So that's going to take place about midsummer, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vista K, you're ready now.
Vista K, we're ready
Vista K
now.
ready now, Island Commons in about 3 months. Well, I expected nothing less than you to be ready to go. You're waiting on somebody else, right? They're not waiting on you.
It goes back and forth sometimes, but anyway.
All right. Framing wise, so inside, let's take a little walk if we can. Let's just go around here to the market. This is the main entrance to the Island Commons. So it comes off the drop off at the covered sidewalk into the main entrance. So you walk into a concierge right here, straight ahead, concierge desk, you can't miss it. And then off to the left is the market. And you can see the framing and the what's happening in the market. Again, the market, think of it as a 7-Eleven. So it'll have coolers along the walls with drinks and refrigerated items, and then there'll be tables set up. There is ice cream. Everybody relax. There's soft serve and scoop ice cream. So take your pick. But anyway, so and then there'll be some seating outside, and we'll have some seating inside as well. So it'll be a great spot for residents to pick up miscellaneous items. And then the elevator bank is behind us. There's 3 elevators in the island. Well, there's 3 passenger elevators in the Island Commons. Then there's an elevator for the guest house and an elevator that is back of house, a service elevator. So plenty of elevators in the building. And then behind the Island Commons, there's a stairway, and then there'll be just miscellaneous rooms, a UPS room.
Yeah, there's a mail room.
UPS room.
And some bathrooms there.
Okay, and bathrooms on the first floor. So anything else on the first floor other than that? I think we're good.
The soft serve is the most important one.
Yeah, soft serve is the most important to Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is coming along great. It's going to be a great entrance here. And again, like I said, the concierge is right there in the front to greet you. So there'll be sliding doors at the entrance. They're the automatic sliders, so that'll be easy access. All right, let's go up to the second floor, and we'll take a look at the Crystal and the bank, Legacy, and whatnot. Okay.
All right.
Sure.
All right, Chris and I are here on the second floor. Again, the 3 elevators. There's an elevator lobby here, and then as you come off the elevators, you make a left, and you come into
The bank, Finemark.
Yep, Finemark Bank and Legacy Department are right next to each other. So all your financial dealings can be here on the second floor. You can knock it out. And they're coming along well. The trusses are going in, and on the roof there, on the roof line. The vault is in, as we mentioned previously, so that's already set up, and framing is up for the walls. So anything else in here right now? Okay.
All good, just like it was
Ductwork,
mentioned.
I can see a lot of ductwork.
Yeah, a lot of MEP, and big deal is the trusses. So that's going in, and it's looking good.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go down here. We'll walk down this way. And so if you come right off the elevator, you'll walk right into, so as you get off and look straight ahead, the card rooms, a living room area right there. To the left, this wall right here that's framed, that is like a game room, the pool table and whatnot are on that side, behind the wall, so it's a little bit separated. And then you walk down the hallway and you get to the Crystal restaurant. So let's walk down that way. As you get to the Crystal, first space you come to is the private dining room. So for private functions, if you can schedule that, and private dining room has outdoor seating as well, just out the back door. Little bit different look here at the Crystal, a little more rounded in the lobby area. So the receptionist would be here, and then you go into the space. And then this is the Crystal with outdoor dining running the length of the building. So as we've shown before when we were out there when they first started the hollow core planks, that runs, it kind of makes an L. So it'll run from the east to the west and then back to the south. the outdoor dining. So plenty of outdoor dining space right on the water. It's a beautiful view. And then the pizza oven's here. And this will be the demonstration kitchen on this side. So it'll be a lot of activity up here at the front. Anything else as far as the Crystal is concerned?
No, just
Everything's-
moving along here. As you can tell, we
Yeah.
have some of the ceiling framing occurring. And then right above this area right here, there'll be some booth seating, and it'll
Yeah.
look great at the end of the day.
Yeah, lot of action here right now. So versus fighting the noise, is where we'll stop here. But in the back corner is the employee break dining space. That's where the service elevator is, and so we can run the service elevator from top to bottom. And then in a couple weeks, we'll show you the third and fourth floors. Service elevator runs up. There's a warming kitchen up there, and then it goes the social room or grand site. You know what the banquet room is up there as well. So to serve in there will be convenient. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay. Thank you all very much. And now we're going to go talk about some closures coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Okay, we are down here now. We're on the would be the east side of the construction fence. And if you'll remember, before we put the fence up, we talked about having to push the fence out that would come into the South Teledora parking lot and then go down Grandview a little bit. And that time is so approaching. Just want John to just talk a little bit about why we're having to move the fence and do the work here on the road.
All right, well, everybody knows that at the first of the year, we went ahead and closed down the whole road. We've torn down the building, and what we've done is we've put in storm systems, sanitary lines, water lines, fire lines, and all the underground utilities have been working from the west coming to the east.
Yep.
So we will be completed with all that work within the existing fence area here in a couple of weeks. And that's why we want to tell you today about our little short-term expansion, where now we have to work outside of this. We're going to capture the Teledora parking lot with some more fencing. We'll have another gate, and we kind of just go right around here.
Yeah,
Up
about
to-
where the tree is, just
to-
on the other side of the crosswalk, right?
Yeah,
basically.
the black olive
Yep.
tree,
Yep.
okay, is where we bring all these new utilities up to,
Yep.
all right, for the future tie-ins. So what really is the big item is the Teledora parking lot. What the improvement there is, it's going to have a new storm drain system. So now all that water that would have been there during storms and everything is now going to be collected and run underneath into a storm system. So that's the major purpose of that improvement.
Okay. John, the other one we're gonna take over is the sidewalk over by the pickleball and shuffleboard courts.
Correct. We need to also here, about 2 weeks from now, we're going to actually, that sidewalk gets rebuilt, reconstructed. We put the fence on this side of it because we didn't need to go capture it for, until now. And now we need to go do that because at the tower project, we're going to start all the major site work. And we're going to start from that northeast corner and then just work our way west. So the first segment is going to be the removal and replacement of that sidewalk. Once that sidewalk is replaced, then we'll bring the fence back over to the construction site
Right,
so
right.
you can walk over
Right,
that new
right.
sidewalk.
Okay. All right, Julie. So this first phase, when will that start to occur?
On Monday, March 16th.
Okay, so we'll move the fence, and then approximately for both these phases, I mean, the one over there, the sidewalk, that's probably
That's like 2 to 3
2 to
weeks.
3 weeks, but this one is probably what?
3 to 4 weeks
3 to
is
4
what
weeks.
John's
4 weeks.
telling me.
Yeah, because it's
3 to 4
repaving
weeks.
and everything, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's the complete, put it in, install it, repave it, and then you're gonna move the fence back?
Once we complete
Yeah.
the new work, then we'll move the fence back.
Yeah.
And really what we're going to be doing is now we're going to really start putting down the new Grandview Road. All right, because the site utilities will be in.
Right.
So this is just the beginning of the new road itself at new elevations. And then we'll be working on the road from east to west so that we can go all the way down to the west side of the site
Yep, okay,
and be prepared to continue working at a later date.
okay. All right, so we want to get this information out in plenty of time. We'll talk about it again next week. And so, again, the sidewalk over by the pickleball shuffleboard courts would be Monday the 16th, and that'll be 2 to 3 weeks
Correct.
to complete. Move the fence back once completed.
Correct.
Okay, to where it is now. The Teledor parking lot and this portion of road, the utility work would be start the 16th, move the fence around the parking lot, do the work, 3 to 4 weeks. It's finished, move the fence back to where it currently is located, right?
In the meantime, I'm working with the court rep,
Yep.
Dave Herbal, to get parking reassigned and figure out all the logistics on that. So those of you that
Which
live
is
in
your
Teledora,
expertise.
we will be getting with you very
Yep.
soon about where your alternate place to park is and how we can help you get to where you need to be.
Yep. And if any additional signage, Julie will take care of that as well. She does a great job with that, and then certainly Julie will get out and walk the space and just kind of make sure everything's looking good and that we have the right signage and it's safe for everybody. That's the main thing. And I know it'll happen seamlessly. It'll like it's meant to be, right?
It'll be
So-
over before we know it.
Yep, that's right. And then we'll work on the other ones going forward for the next few months. But just want to talk about this one so everybody's aware. And anything else from your end, Joel?
No.
Okay. Thanks for being here today. John, thank you, buddy.
Again, thank
Appreciate
you guys.
it, man. You do great work, and we wish you the best, and we'll see you soon. Once we're finished, you can come for all the ceremonies.
I'll be back.
Come for the cake and ice cream, right?
That's right.
All right, good deal. All right, everybody, appreciate your time today. This might have been a little bit longer than normal, but a lot of information, and just definitely wanted to celebrate John and his contributions. So thank you all very much, and two of the three of us will be back with you next week. Have a good one.
Get ready, it's almost time. Tickets for our Encore season go on sale starting Friday, March 6th at 10 a.m. Want the best seats? It's easy. Simply drop off your reservation form at the box office beginning Friday at 10 a.m. We'll date and timestamp every form and process them in the exact order they're received. Fair and simple. The Encore season starts April 9th. So join us as we welcome powerhouse vocalist Mandy Barnett. Her soaring voice and unforgettable stage presence will open our Encore season in spectacular style. We'll start the evening with a special reception from 6 to 7, then settle in for an incredible concert you won't want to miss. So mark your calendar. March 6th, Encore season tickets go on sale, and then join us for an unforgettable opening night on April 9th with Mandy Barnett.
Hi, Shell Point. My name is Melissa Mitchell, and I am Executive Director of the Legacy Foundation. I am excited to be here today with Dave Moreland, partner at Genesis Wealth Management at Stifel. We are very excited for our upcoming presentation on March 12th at 1 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Dave, what will we be talking about on March 12th?
Sure. The title of the seminar is How Long Can the Bull Market Run?
Awesome. Go Bulls. No. So let's start, with the basics. What is a bull market and
Sure.
how is it different from a bear market?
Okay, sure. So we always think of those kind of two opposing forces, if you will. So a bull market is defined as when any area of the market goes up by 20% or more. It's typically, the definition is a longer period of time of increase in the market, but it represented at 20% from, if you will, recent lows. So that begins to define what a bull market is. And by contrast, you would be in a bear market if the market would drop from recent highs down below 20% or more. So when you're in a protracted bull market and things are moving forward over a number of years, you could have pullbacks, we would call them, in between, but that's only broken by 20% down if you're going up, and if you're already going down, by the opportunity to be 20% or higher on the up. So a time like last year in April, for instance, the market was down in March by 10%, down another 10% on tariff worries. We were actually in a bear market last April. And then the market turned, and then we were back into a bull market again. So that's the actual definition of a bull market.
Okay, so we're in a bull market now. So what would you say we need to do right now in our current market cycle?
Well, I think that, if you're looking at where we are in the cycle, I think that we would say that we're likely closer to the end than the beginning. So that in and of itself is a cause for folks to take notice, because we've now had 3 very strong years in a row. So some of the things that we're aware of is that at this point in the cycle, you typically get a bit more volatility. So that's something that we're expecting and looking out for and preparing for within portfolios. And, though a bull market becomes mature, it doesn't mean there's flashing red signs that it's going to end tomorrow. Right. So we're not looking for that. We're just trying to be aware of the environment that we're in. We're looking at the cycle. And so we'll be talking about historical bull markets, what we've seen in the past, and kind of look at some guideposts forward, or markers of things that every investor should be aware of.
Okay. Now, our investors here at Shell Point, they have invested throughout their lives, and now they're in retirement. So how is the investment period or the investment activities for somebody who's already retired different, and what should they be most focused on right now?
Sure. That's actually a really good question. And how do you differ, a portfolio for a retiree than somebody who's in wealth accumulation? And I think the biggest distinction really comes down to asset allocation, because when you're accumulating, you don't need to be focused on, let's say, bonds that produce income or CDs, because you don't have an income need. You're working, and so you would have employment income. And I think the big shift that retirees have to make, and most people have made here, is that once you're retired, you're really solving for an income number. And what that looks like is saying, hey, here are my sources of income that I get. I get Social Security, I may get a pension, but I really need X amount of dollars, and my fixed sources are this. So how do I gear my portfolio to create the rest? And so I think it's really comes down to a discussion, Melissa, of allocation. And I think that's the biggest difference between somebody who's in their working years and somebody who's retired.
Right. Now, we want the bull to run. That's
yes.
fun when the bull is running.
Let the bull keep running. Yes.
But from the seminar, what will our residents take away from attending the seminar, and without giving away all your secrets?
Well, I think that there are some. I mentioned guideposts a minute ago, but there are markers within any market that give us an idea of where we're at and things that we should be on the lookout for. So we're going to discuss factors to watch. These are things that we're looking for, and what happens that can trip up a bull market. And I think that's really important. But I know that every investor is going to walk away, feeling more prepared as the bull ages. And I think that's really what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, you want to know that not only was I good yesterday and I had good returns last year, but I want to know that the way that I'm positioned going forward is appropriate for what may be coming.
Yes. Well, you've been a wonderful partner for decades here at Shell Point. And so just tell us, how did you first get involved with Shell Point? Why are you so passionate? Why is it such a special place to you personally?
Sure. Well, many people that live here at Shell Point would remember my father worked here. He was the vice president of marketing for 32 years. So my family and I moved down here in 1984 when I was 10 years old. And I just turned 52. So been involved at Shell Point for a really long time. So when we moved down here, I became intimately acquainted with Shell Point, and obviously it's a ministry of the Christian Missionary Alliance, which is very near and dear to my heart as well. So we have just had a relationship, and then when I got into financial planning, it was very apparent to me that working with retirees at Shell Point was a great idea. And we've just had a tremendous relationship for a very long time. And we continue to support what you do at Legacy Foundation and what we can do to advance Shell Point and really for the care for the residents. And I think that's important. And that's something that as outsiders, we feel it's a privilege to be able to do.
Yes. Well, we are so grateful to you and your partner at Genesis Wealth Management because we know we can always count on you to take great care of our residents, but always to come alongside us in our initiatives. And we know we have our upcoming Shell Point Open that you are sponsoring once again. And so you're such a loyal and just wonderful partner that we can always rely on. So we just thank you for bringing this seminar. Well, Shell Point, don't forget to register for our seminar on March 12th at 1 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. It's How Long Can the Bull Market Run? And you're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to register on Wells Esta. And thank you so much, Dave, for being with us.
My pleasure.